ready to fall in love with me? Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Grace Rue here, and tonight, welcome to Late Night Chit Chat. And I'm gonna practice doing my makeup whilst you guys get to know me. A few of you have left some questions which I've written down to answer, and I will be doing that alongside, I guess, you guys watching me attempt to do my makeup. My name is Gracious Shonge, and I am 19. I was born on the 11th of November 2005, so I am a Scorpio if you care about that kind of thing. I'm not very big on star signs, so I'm not very sure what my rising sign is or who I'm compatible with, but in case you're just wondering. I do have a younger brother. His name is Emmanuel. I am Zimbabwean. I have lived in Zimbabwe for about 17 years, and now I live in Kenya, but I go to uni in Cardiff in Wales. A common question I get asked is why I chose Cardiff out of all of the offers which I got, and why I didn't go to Edinburgh because of prestige. And that was because of multiple different reasons. Number one being my course. During results day, Edinburgh actually offered me French and politics instead of law and French, which defeated the whole purpose because I wanted to study law. I wanted to get that LLB. So I decided to go to Cardiff instead of Edinburgh for that specific reason. Another reason is because I do have family in Cardiff, and I had a couple of friends from high school who were going to come to Cardiff as well. So I knew I wasn't going to feel imposter syndrome, and I knew I had other international students who could relate to me and my course as well. Now, someone asked me, when do I graduate? So I just started first year. So I graduate in 2027 because my law and politics degree is 3 years. Am I planning on doing a gap year? I'm not sure. I've been considering doing work experience for my third year, and then pushing my degree to be 4 years instead. But I'm not too sure how I feel about solicitor work as of right now. So stay tuned for that, guys. We will soon figure out together whether I'm gonna do that or not. Do I have a boyfriend? In the works. I'll let y'all know if I do, but as of right now, no, I do not. I'm doing my own thing. What's a life lesson I'll give my younger self? I would tell her to not take everything that people say at face value, because opinions change. The same way your opinions change, someone else's opinion of you is going to change as well. And don't take everything that people say too hard, because one moment someone can tell you that you're ugly, or someone can tell you that you're not worth it, and the next moment that same person is going to be in your DM asking you how you did it, how you got there. They're going to be coming to you for advice for things which once upon a time they bullied you for, or they put you down for. So yeah, that's something I'll tell my younger self, that what she's going through right now is only temporary, and in the future she's going to do so much better. Did I have homesickness after moving to uni, and how did I cope with it? So I guess me coming to uni with my friends meant that I did have a piece of home with me, so I didn't feel any kind of imposter syndrome like I didn't belong, because I knew that as a group we did come and we did belong. We did have each other to support one another, so I was fortunate on that end. However, in terms of the culture shock, I did feel kind of homesick. Number one, in terms of walking everywhere, in terms of doing my own grocery shopping, doing my own cooking, being the one to clean. I learned very quickly how privileged I was back home, and I think I appreciate that so much more now than I did before. I do have times where I do feel homesick in terms of like food and everything, and the way I cope with it is just keeping in contact with people back home, calling my mom regularly, texting my brother, calling auntie back home, asking her for recipes that I can make. If you have any family in the UK, that would be very like helpful, like going to visit them, just making sure that you're in contact with your people. As much as a lot of my friends are like Kenyan and I have them around me and it reminds me of home back in Kenya, I do have a lot of Zim people in my community as well who I do reach out to here and there when I really feel like I want to speak to someone who truly gets my struggle, not only as a foreigner in Kenya, but as an international student in the UK as well, because double homicide, So do I want to stay in the UK after school, or do I want to move back to Africa? Good question. So this, I'm not too sure yet. It will depend on a number of factors. Number one, if I get any kind of work after my undergrad, if I end up doing a master's, and if they let me renew my visa in the UK. Preferably, actually, I'm not too sure. I think I'm actually 50-50 in terms of this, because on one end, I do want to go home, but on the other end, I know it would be much more beneficial for my future career if I either stay in the UK or go to another EU country. How do I motivate myself to study? So I'm going to answer this both for uni and both for A-levels, IGCSEs, all the above. I have a role model, right? And what I'll do is I would constantly remind myself through my role model what my goals and aspirations are and what life can look like when you do put in the effort. During my A-levels, I knew that I wanted to go into law school. I knew that I wanted to be a lawyer. And I knew that you can't just go to law school with mediocre grades. And I knew that as someone who was doing A-level law, the amount of effort I put into that will also determine how well I kind of do during my own degree, because it might not have been a lot of the same relevant information, but a lot of it does seep into my uni work. And I realized, had I not actually learned this in school, I wouldn't have done as well as I did now. So a lot of the skills that you have are very transferable, and the quicker you realize that, the more you'll be willing to learn, because you're going to carry those life lessons with you. In terms of uni work, I won't lie to you guys and say I've been that motivated. A lot of my exams and a lot of my coursework has been open book and 24 hours, and I tend to do things quite last minute, which isn't great, but that's what's been working for me so far. I am working on developing a new routine and a new study schedule for second year, because I do have a lot of big things coming up, and I can't be moving at the same slow pace that I have been in first year. So yeah. So where do I want to be in the next year? In the next year, I'll be going into my third year, I guess this time next year. And hopefully by then I'd have had a good run as a president of a society. I'll be a representative either for a law firm or anything like law related. I'd have done a couple internships, vacation schemes, and would have built a good network within, number one, the law society. Would have had a good run for WOLA, and just any other society which I'm going to join. Basically, I'm just going to be focusing mainly on networking, and hopefully by next year I would have really secured a good reputation, not only in the legal field, but just like socially as well, and just being on a good path to securing a good either internship, job, or master's for when I graduate. Favorite thing about uni. My favorite thing about uni is the freedom. I won't lie to you. I think the idea of knowing that if you're feeling a certain type of way, you can just get up and leave the house. If you feel like you need some space, you can go visit your friends. If you feel like you're feeling a bit down, you can go to the park, you can sit in the park, you can decide to go to a bar by yourself. You can just, the freedom of doing anything you please is definitely one of my favorite things about uni. And as much as I acted like I didn't really like it, guys, the independence, it's really taught me to be more appreciative and more grateful about, number one, my upbringing, my surroundings, people who do certain jobs. You tend to respect people who, you tend to respect civil servants more. Has uni life exceeded my expectations, like from studies to party life? Yes, actually. When I tell you people have slept on Cardiff University and told me and my friends it was going to be dead, and we are the ones who are getting turned up and their cities look dead. In terms of uni work, uni like academic life, no, it has not lived up to my expectations, but in a good way. I did not know prior coming to Cardiff that first year grades don't count to your overall degree, so that meant a lot of the times you're not really taking a lot of the lectures seriously. People barely even attend. Like, you meet maybe the every so like third person, they tell you they're like doing law, and you're like, but I've never seen you. But then again, there's like 600 people put in one lecture hall, and you can never really know who's coming and who isn't coming. So yeah, I think in terms of academics, it's more chilled than I expected it to be, which is a good thing, I guess, because it settles you in nicely into uni life, so that when they bombard you with the exams in second year, you've at least had time to breathe, time to adjust, time to process where everything is. You've enjoyed your social life. Another thing I didn't really expect was the cultural divide, I guess, between international students and then local students as well, because maybe I'm ignorant, but you tend to think that everyone is like you and your friends until you realize everyone is not like you and your friends. Another thing which I did not expect at all was for Wales to be full of English people. Like, I was fully expecting to hear some Welsh accents, but I can count how many times I've met a Welsh person. It's not a lot. Who are my favorite YouTubers? So, I love Janae Craig, Hailey Gamba, V Kativu, V Kativu in terms of just education, activism, Hailey Gamba in terms of bettering yourself as a woman, being in tune with your femininity, learning how to say no, putting yourself first, protecting your peace. And then Janae Craig, just entertainment wise, because who doesn't love Janae Craig? Like, if you haven't watched Love Island and you don't know who Janae Craig is, you need to hop onto that, because I want to be Janae Craig. I want to be Janae. Like, I got nothing else to say to that other than I want to be Janae. Someone asked me, what are my favorite shows? Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. Like, I don't know how many other times to say Game of Thrones, but Game of Thrones. I love The 100. The 100 was really good. Like, I think I've watched that a couple of times. The Last Kingdom, Tudors. If you can't tell, there's a pattern here. I love most historical shows. I love Vikings as well. But if I had to give you my top three: Game of Thrones, The 100, Last Kingdom. Yeah, that would be my ranking. Favorite artists. Fun fact, my favorite artist is actually Taylor Swift. Shoot me, shoot me. God forbid a black girl loves herself some Taylor Swift. Anyways, yes, I know. I love Taylor Swift. I love Uncle Waffles. If I could marry Uncle Waffles, I would. She is absolutely amazing. Maverick City is at the top of my Apple playlist. Elevation Worship, DJ Maporisa, Young Stunner. Oh yeah, I love Young Stunner. Like, especially seeing Young Stunner perform, amazing. I'm not even sure what I did with my eyeliner. Why does it look like that? Someone just asked me what my biggest ache is in a relationship. Oh boy, the list is long. Very long. But to keep it plain and simple, I really find it icky when a guy does not have any drive or any ambition. And I feel like I need to preface that drive and ambition does not equal to money. It just means that you want something better for yourself. Whether you reach that goal or not is a different story. But knowing that the goal is there is what matters the most, because it means you're going to put in effort, Another egg for me is someone who allows his friends to dictate like his actions or like his relationship. Like, are you a girl? Like, what color is your lip gloss? Like, do you want to share? Because I can't. What's one insecurity I am still working on? I used to have acne, and it wasn't the greatest back in the day. I think coming to terms with the fact that my acne isn't as bad anymore is very difficult to come to terms with, rather. I felt like back in the day a lot of people thought I was like really ugly or didn't find me pretty, so when people do compliment me, I'll be like, oh, but like, have you seen my acne? And like, which acne? And I'm like, this acne. I feel like it's still on my face. I feel like I'm still that same insecure Gracious who didn't really want to like leave the house that much without like covering her face, because I always felt like someone was going to comment on it. I felt like someone would maybe like comment on my skin or say something, and to this day I still feel like that. I mean, I know I'm beautiful, and I know I'm beautifully and wonderfully made in the image of God, but it does take some getting used to, like reaffirming yourself that, and just making sure that I don't rely on someone else to tell me about my beauty, except for myself, my mama, and God. Who are my top 3 influencer crushes right now? I'm not sure if I have 3, but I can tell you for free. Number 1, Louis Russell. I love Louis Russell. Like, I have such a huge crush on him. If I ever catch Louis Russell, I'm joking. That sounded like a threat. I am actually joking. But I'm done with my makeup right now, and I guess I'll just wrap up a few questions from the Q&A, and then we will move on to the assumptions that you guys have made about me. What's my love language and how did I find it out? My love language is words of affirmation, quality time, and acts of service. I think this is what I received the most growing up, and I feel like it's been a way of me to feel like assured, like just having someone tell me how much they like me, how much they love me, and then showing me how much they like me or love me during certain actions, because actions speak louder than words at the end of the day. So if you tell me that you really care about me and you really love me, but there's nothing to back that up, then I won't believe you, And when I say actions, I don't mean you need to like buy me stuff. I just mean like you need to put in effort. If I tell you I really love reading and I constantly talk to you about reading, and you get me a book, like for me that's knowing that you actually listened to me, number 1, and you actually went out of your way to get me something which you knew I would like. Why did I start a YouTube channel? I think for the longest of time, since I was about like 13-ish, I kind of knew that I wanted to have a media presence and make some kind of impact. Which impact, I didn't know at the time, but it started off slowly with like my Instagram, like just taking certain like professional pictures. I remember I wanted to be a model real bad until I found out I was like too short, and there was a certain kind of body requirement which you needed. But I knew I enjoyed being in front of the camera. I loved public speaking. I just loved debating. I loved giving my opinions, whether they're controversial or not. Like, it was something I grew to love and grew to be good at over time. And I felt like there was a way I could utilize that talent without it being like in a court of law, without it having to do with like my degree per se. And I knew that I wanted to make an impact. I loved making TikToks. I loved being out there, and I thought, hey, why not make a YouTube channel? Number 1, just documenting my lifestyle, my experience, documenting my uni journey, continue with my Instagram, maybe making it like my own personal canvas, being my own model. I don't need to model for an agency, but I can do what I need to do, just look good for you guys. And then in terms of TikToks, I felt like I could mix both, like my personality, not even both. I just felt like I could mix my personality, my lifestyle, uni, and just make content out of anything. I mean, it's 2025, like anything can make you go viral. Any kind of passion can draw people towards you to like relate to you, and you never know what you have to say that can change someone's life. So I might not think I'm impactful right now, but maybe one of you could potentially decide that I've said something that made you feel like, wow, I want to go to college, or wow, I want to start a YouTube channel, or just wow, like I want to be friends with Gracious, because why would you not want to be friends with me? Oh my goodness. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this YouTube video. Tune in to the next one, where I will be reading the assumptions that you guys made about me. Bye.